Have you ever wanted to run Windows and Linux on the same computer at the same time? Or maybe you've wondered how big companies manage hundreds of servers without buying hundreds of physical machines. The secret behind all that is virtualization. Hey YouTube, I'm the Code Pilot, and today we're going to break down what virtualization is, why it matters, and how you can use it yourself with tools like VirtualBox, Proxmox, VMware, and more. Let's start with the basics. Virtualization is the process of creating a virtual version of something, like a computer, an operating system, a mobile phone, or even a storage device. In simple terms, it's like having multiple computers running inside of one real computer. Each of these virtual computers is called a virtual machine or a VM. Think of your physical computer. That's the host machine. And inside of it, you can create several guest machines, each one having its own operating system, apps, and files. There are ways to make them communicate with each other and share resources, but that's a tutorial for another day. Your host resources, like the CPU, RAM, and storage, get divided and shared among these guests. For an example, check the link in the description below or the linked video here to see how you can run your very own guest machine. So how does this actually work? The key technology behind virtualization is something called a hypervisor. A hypervisor is the software that sits between your physical hardware and your virtual machines. It manages the resources and keeps everything running smoothly. There are two main types of hypervisors. Type 1 is a bare metal hypervisor. It's installed directly on the hardware. It would take place of Windows or Linux running directly on your machine. Bare metal hypervisors are used mostly in data centers, enterprise servers, and home labs. Examples include VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V Server, Proxmox, and Zen. Now Type 2 are hosted hypervisors. These are installed on top of an existing operating system, kind of like an app that you install, and then your virtual machines go in there. They're great for personal use, testing, or for small-scale projects, or for just kind of tinkering. Popular examples of Type 2 hosted hypervisors include VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, and Parallels Desktop if you're running Mac OS. If you want to try virtualization yourself, here are some popular options you can use. VirtualBox, which is free and open source, and it's great for beginners. VMware Workstation or Fusion has more advanced features and a polished UI, but it's still fairly easy to use. Parallels Desktop is ideal for Mac users who also want to be able to run Windows applications or run a copy of Windows. Hyper-V is built into Windows Professional and Enterprise editions. Proxmox VE is a free and open source server virtualization commonly used in home labs. In fact, I run a version of Proxmox here as well.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
So why even bother with virtualization? There's a few different reasons why you might want to. Good examples include testing and experimentation of software and environments. You can safely test new software operating systems or configurations within your own system. For example, if you wanted to try Linux on your computer without having to dual boot or put at risk the existing Windows installation. If you wanted to set up a development environment, developers like myself use virtual machines to replicate specific setups, like testing apps on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, all from just one machine. It can be very useful for security and isolation testing. You can keep potentially risky files or software inside of a VM away from your main system. It's good for consolidating servers as well. Businesses can run multiple servers on one powerful machine, saving both money and space. It's great for disaster recovery and backup. It's easy to back up the entire virtual machine and restore them if something breaks. It's awesome for learning and training. They're also really great for students or IT pros who want hands-on practice with different operating systems or network setups. As to a real-world use case for virtual machines, I've had several clients who have purchased new hardware, typically towards the end of the year when you tend to find more sales, and they're looking to maybe spend a little bit more money to get some tax breaks at the end of the year. What we were able to do was remove the hard drive from their existing machine that they were looking at replacing, putting it into the new computer that they purchased, and then setting that up to run as a virtual machine, either by imaging the disk, or depending on the age and size of the old disk, just leaving the old disk to run while creating incremental backups so that even if that disk failed, we still had a backup of it And in that case, their old machine just kind of plugged along, not really realizing that it was no longer a physical machine. It was kind of plugged into the matrix deal. But in that situation, we were able to provide more resources to that machine, and actually ran better as a virtual machine than it did a physical machine, and some of them are still running to this day. Now I know what you're thinking, this sounds way too good to be true, or else everyone would be doing it. Well, virtualization isn't perfect. Running multiple VMs means sharing your system's resources, so performance can take a hit. There's really no way around that. Also, some hardware-intensive tasks or GPU-heavy operations, like gaming or 3D rendering, don't run so smoothly in virtual machines. But for most testing, development, and learning purposes, it's an amazing tool. So that's virtualization in a nutshell, creating digital computers inside of your real one. If you're curious, again, check the link in the description below. Go ahead and download VirtualBox, spin up a Linux VM, and just play around with it. It won't break your physical machine. This video is actually based on a viewer suggestion, and if there's something you'd like to learn, please drop a comment below. I might make it my next video. So that's all I got on virtual machines. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tech breakdowns. Okay, bye.